There is a moment when Donald Trump enters a room. Before he speaks, before he makes a statement, before anything actually happens, attention shifts, not gradually, instantly. Why? Why does one person command so much focus, whether people admire him or oppose him? To understand Donald Trump, you don't start with politics. You start with psychology, because his influence is not built only on policies or positions. It is built on dominance and attention. Donald Trump operates on a simple but powerful psychological principle. Attention is power. Most people compete for approval. Trump competes for attention. And attention, unlike approval, does not require agreement. It only requires focus. From the beginning, Trump understood that being ignored is the only real loss in public life. Criticism, controversy, even outrage, these are not threats. They are fuel, because every reaction keeps him at the center of the conversation. This is known as attention dominance, controlling the narrative space so completely that others are forced to react instead of lead. Trump doesn't wait for attention. He creates it. Another key element of his psychology is certainty. Trump rarely speaks in cautious terms. He doesn't say maybe, perhaps, or it's possible. He speaks in absolutes. This will happen. This is the best. No one does it better. This level of certainty is not accidental. In uncertain environments, the human brain gravitates toward confident voices. Even when accuracy is unclear, confidence signals authority. This is authority bias. When someone appears completely sure of themselves, people instinctively assume competence. Trump uses this instinct consistently. He simplifies complex issues into clear, decisive statements. Strong versus weak, winning versus losing, success versus failure. Simple language reduces cognitive effort, and what feels easy to understand often feels true. There is also the psychology of repetition. Trump repeats phrases constantly. Slogans, labels, descriptions. At first, repetition seems excessive, but repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity builds belief. The more often the brain hears something, the more normal it feels. Over time, repeated statements begin to sound like accepted reality. This is the illusion of truth effect. It does not require evidence, only exposure. Another powerful mechanism behind Trump's influence is identity alignment. He doesn't just communicate ideas. He communicates belonging. He speaks in ways that make certain groups feel seen, heard, and represented. He reflects frustrations, concerns, and emotions that many people feel but struggle to express publicly. When people feel represented, they attach emotionally. An emotional attachment is stronger than logical agreement. Support becomes personal. Criticism becomes an attack. This creates a strong in-group versus out-group dynamic. Supporters feel connected. Opponents feel triggered. And both reactions increase attention. Trump also uses conflict as a strategy. Most people avoid conflict to maintain stability. Trump uses conflict to maintain visibility. By creating tension with individuals, media, or institutions, he ensures constant engagement. Conflict generates emotion. Emotion generates attention. Attention sustains relevance. Calm environments reduce visibility. Conflict amplifies it. Trump understands that in the modern media landscape, attention is currency, and controversy is one of the fastest ways to generate it. There's also the psychology of dominance signaling. Trump's communication style is direct, assertive, and often confrontational. He interrupts. He labels. He dismisses opposition quickly. These behaviors signal control. In social hierarchies, dominant individuals take up space, verbally and psychologically. They do not wait for permission. They impose presence. This creates a perception of strength, and strength attracts attention. Even those who disagree often continue watching, because dominance is difficult to ignore. Another layer is emotional simplicity. Trump reduces complex issues into emotionally clear messages. Fear, pride, anger, victory. These are primal emotions. The human brain responds faster to emotion than logic. Emotional clarity feels powerful because it removes ambiguity. Ambiguity creates hesitation. Emotion creates action. By consistently triggering strong emotional responses, Trump keeps his audience engaged. Not always comfortable, but always attentive. There is also the power of unpredictability. Trump does not follow traditional communication patterns. His statements, reactions, and decisions often break expectations. Unpredictability forces attention. The brain is wired to monitor uncertainty closely. When outcomes are unclear, focus increases. People watch more carefully because they cannot predict what comes next. Predictable figures fade into the background. Unpredictable figures stay in the spotlight. But this strategy comes with a paradox. The same mechanisms that create massive attention also create polarization. Strong reactions divide audiences. Support becomes stronger. Opposition becomes stronger. Neutrality disappears. But from a psychological perspective, polarization increases visibility, and visibility reinforces influence. Trump does not operate in the middle. He operates at the extremes, because extremes are where attention lives. At a deeper level, Trump reflects something fundamental about human nature: the desire for strength, the desire for certainty, the desire to be heard. In times of uncertainty, people are drawn to figures who appear decisive, confident, and dominant, not because they are always correct, but because they reduce psychological discomfort. Certainty feels like control, and control feels like safety. Donald Trump is not just a political figure. He is a case study in attention psychology. He understands that in a world overloaded with information, the most valuable skill is not being right. It is being impossible to ignore. He understands that dominance is not just physical or positional. It is psychological. It is about controlling focus, controlling narrative, controlling emotional reaction. And that is why, regardless of opinion, he remains central, because in the modern world, attention defines influence. And Donald Trump has mastered attention, not by avoiding conflict, not by seeking approval, but by understanding one simple truth. If you control what people focus on, you control the conversation. And if you control the conversation, you hold power.